Hey there, legends, and welcome to another episode of Water Assassin Fishing. I'm going to have a bit of a go today in a bit of a camping session, kayak, camp, catch and cook. Just got all the gear loaded up here, just waiting for Grant to turn up and then we'll be heading out. I thought while I'm waiting for Grant, I'll go through the setup that I use when I'm doing these sort of overnight trips. Let's move the sounder up. This is a Hobie PA14 Pro Angler 14. I've had it for years now. It's probably like my third or fourth year with it. Obviously the colors change from that, you know, bright orange to sort of more of a yellowy color. That's just the sun. Obviously it's got quite a bit of use. So I've just got my sleeping bag. It's a big one. I've just had a cold, and it's still a bit chilly. See the foot pedal. Just got a gallon of water. 2 fishing rod holders. So one over here. This is the one I use when I'm trawling, and then this is the one I use for just the spare rod to keep it out of the road. Sounder, which is the Lawrence hook 7TS. Got GPS and all that sort of stuff on it. Going to the net, which I'll unfold a bit later. Big enough just in case I do catch a dewy or a big floody. Life jacket. It's got a seat cushion. Just helps when you're up and down a lot, like I am. Underneath the seat, I've got a bag which is like just a walk in the flats bag. So just your standard lures in there, really light sort of jig heads as well if I'm going to use soft plastics, which are all got a bag full of them obviously as well. So that all fits underneath the seat. Coming through to the back, got this Rhino toolbox that actually fits on the back of these Pro Anglers perfectly. So I've actually just wired this whole thing up. As you can see, it's got like lights and stuff for night time. A section here that obviously you can charge your phone and everything like that. Just not connected to the battery at the moment. And then just in here I've just got like food and everything that I need, obviously like camping wires for the night, just in there. And then just on the back I've just got a waterproof backpack, which has got a Hennessy hammock and a mat to, obviously because it's still cold, so that just goes underneath me when I'm sleeping. I've also got like a little tarp in there which just keeps the gear dry at night time. So I'm going to be doing 2 kinds of fishing rods with my fishing today. First one, I'm just going to be using this really light brim outfit. It's a Scenic CI4 1000 reel, spooled with 6-pound J-braid Grand to a 4-pound leader, which has only got the leader that I used the other day. I'll put a longer one on. I'm going to be also using the setup that I caught my 96.5 centimeter flathead on, which is actually pretty light for that kind of fish. It's just a 1.54 kilo rated primal rod. I actually love this thing, even though it's very cheap and everything like that. It's got Fuji guides on it. I'm going to be doing that spooled to just a little cheap Sienna 1000 reel. This one's also got 6-pound mainline, but I'm going to be running an 8-pound leader to this one. So I've got 1 rod for flicking and 1 rod for trawling. Huge sea eagle just come through, sitting up there in the tree. Found the spot. Wind's a bit ordinary, but it's alright. There's a spot just in there between the two, sort of the basin and the creek. Be able to find a little windbreak here somewhere anyway. Unload the axe and then we'll head up the creek and try and catch a couple of bass and dewies. Yoo! Yeah, I literally watched that. Wish I got that on video. Thanks, mate. There you are, guys. First fish of the day. It was funny, I threw this chubby out, this little chubby lure, and cast it out near the tree and retrieved it. Actually watched the flathead take the lure about half a metre from the boat. There. That lure in it. There you go. So yeah, that 45 centimetre fish grabbed that lure right in front of the kayak. And that's fish 1 of the day. Dropped a good brim come up into the creek a little bit, drop the stuff off there, back at the campsite, and decided to push up into the creek because of the wind. Found a little skinny corner here, a couple of k's up. Just flicking around in this spot still, and got a good little hit actually straight underneath the branch, and it didn't feel as heavy as it did straight away, but now it's starting to really kick away. So it's feeling like a bit of an EP, could also be a brim, but it's got a bit of weight to it as well. So that initial run, it always sort of describe it. Didn't really feel like a flathead either. Not really sure what it is yet. Actually, the way it's staying in low and not fighting now sort of makes me think it's a flathead. I'll put a bit more resistance on the drag, but I'm only fishing very light. 4 pound leader. Oh yeah, that definitely feels like a flatty now. Yeah, kayak. Oh, put my lure there. Another rod. Bring that in. Oh, that's a good fish. Said I can't put too much on this drag because I'm only fishing very light. Old brim setup. Oh no, it's trevally. Heavy fish. Oh yeah, that's a big fish. It's good trevally. Got a bit of bite to it. Very powerful fish, a trevally. As soon as they get a bit of a run on you, they'll oh yeah, that's a good fish. Really nice fish, this one. See the big eyes on it. You can probably hear it making that weird croaking noise as well. That's that Daiwa bait junkie. I think it's a 3-inch or 2.5-inch paddle tail. Just destroyed that on the drop. You can see these things are built for speed. Big fins on the side, like a long profile to it. They're very skinny as well, and they school up. You can see how long those fins sort of go out for stability, and that's why they fight so hard in the water. We'll get this big one back in. Gone. Yeah, mate, just on a drop. So I was just jigging that soft plastic up and down. Nah, it was a pop drop. So just an update, Grant lost a good fish just there before. Can't blame him. He actually sat up when he hooked it for once. That's probably his fault. And I've just had a couple of hits too. Grant's using a paddle pretty similar to the one that I just caught that last EP on. I've changed to an atomic, I forget the actual name of it, but it looks like that. It's like a prawn. And now we're just casting towards where we think the school's gone to. Hoping that we might have got a, maybe, or you can land something like a bigger EP that might be hanging around that school. Anyway, I just got a hit. Just as I'm talking to the GoPro too. Sort of every time the sun goes out behind that cloud, it's sort of like we get a hit. Might be something to do with the sun. There we go, another little hit, and on. Oh yeah, that's a good little EP. Yeah. Yeah, probably. It's a little bit smaller actually. Definitely found that school though. See if I can. Okay, so you can tell it's an EP because it's got this concave in the top of the head. Bass tend to have like a straighter head or rounded. It's good placement actually. Easy to get off. So these have razor sharp gill plates just there. It's like razor blades. The teeth are very small. They do have little teeth, but you can still, I find it easier to hold them just like that. Just by putting a thumb inside the mouth. And, yeah, he's a nice little healthy one. Just checking for any like teeth marks or anything, because I did feel a bigger hit actually when I was bringing that in. So I can see, like you probably can't see it, I'm not sure if you guys can. There's a little red dot just behind it. It looks like a tooth mark, but I reckon something big has actually had a crack at that while we've been bringing that in. So if the lure's back out, we'll have another go. But good little fish. Phew. Another fish, another EP. Look at this greedy little bloke. Barely bigger than the lure. Righto, so it's getting towards obviously night, and we've just realised we don't have any bait, so we're busy trying to catch some bait before it gets too late. So we've got to get rods out tonight. So there's got one little spot here on the flats just before we head back to the campsite where we usually catch a few fish. Yep. Oh. Yeah, it was a tailor, just chomped me. It's coming up on Grant here, who's come up with the clutch move. Don't know what he's caught just yet. What do you got, big dog? Oh, jeez, he's got a bit of fight on it. So, I don't know what Grant's on here, but we really need something to bait. This will be Grant's first fish he's caught today too. Oh, he's got a tailor. It's like the perfect bait. Right.
Clutch move.
Got the last fish of the sort of evening session, if you call it. Another beautiful EP, and you can tell it's an EP because of the concave sort of head on it. So day two, it's a bit of a chilly one last night. That's all right, back on the water. Just gonna have a quick flick over in this little spot over here. Grant's got to go to work, so he's gonna chuff off here in a second. So before we head back and unload all this camping gear, we're gonna have a go, and oh, look promising already. Let's get into it. Nice little fish to start the day. Woo! and nudge it up into the creek as far as I can so I can get to these EPs, but it's not making it easy with this wind. Try and add another fish to the collection. Been a good weekend so far. Only a little fella, but yeah, he still took that vibe pretty well. So that's what I'm using at the moment. Just pushed heaps far up into the creek. Way up actually. It's getting towards, as you can probably see around, it's pretty skinny. And just been flicking around this soft plastic and just got a really good hook up actually. Just next to a tree branch. Oh, looks like a black brim. This little guy. Beautiful little fish. Still another fish. This one absolutely hammered this this lure. And how stunning is it out here, eh? Even in this wind, you can still find a spot to go fishing. Beautiful estuary perch on right up in the creek. Beautiful little fish. What it's like up in here, mate, it's just stunning. You wouldn't find a better place. Fish. See that wind still an issue. Boat flipping straight up. Another one down. Just having the last little flick of the day.